The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. Him maketh I lie down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I rasta go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Uno prepare the table before I in the presence of our enemy them. Uno anointed I head with uno oil. Me cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy. I go follow I all the days of I Vinny. Me I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Ja. Kadama we grumabe tela higzag beer. Tanaistalina ba shante 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 shante. Kadama we grumabe tela This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodamo, where we speak truth to power, where twos and threes meet in the name of the Most High Jah. And that's so Jaja there. If Jaja never build up your house, the builder I go build it in vain same way. If Jaja never watch upon your house, the watchman I go watch it in vain. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and them is safe. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. And I give thanks and I says unto your name, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. Amasa Yahuda, Amasa, Negusto, Daniel Ama, Koma ya Sataya, Yasowa Pio Aya, Kadama we Gromabia Tela. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunamo, where we speak truth to power. And my name, Black Rasta. In every traditional African home, there is a black pot. And every time this black pot visits the fire, there is something sumptuous, highly nutritious cooking, because ingredients of so many different types, shapes, sizes, colors, aromas, and even flavors put aside all their differences and relocate into the black pot to be subjected to some amount of heating to produce that sumptuousness, that nutrition that you have been waiting for all this while. This is the black pot. And remember, every time the black pot and the ingredients collaborate, they produce food that they do not even enjoy themselves. The eaters, you and I, enjoy the food. Every time they will continue to collaborate without thinking about the fact that they are not partaking in the enjoyment of the food. This is generational thinking, selfless thinking. That is why this generation must be that selfless thinking generation, that Joshua generation. Now, the interesting thing is that the black pot represents the continent of Africa and the ingredients represent us. So we must always collaborate to produce development for our people, our continent, our land. We must never think about the fact that we might not live enough to benefit from some of the hard work that we put out. For instance, when we sow seedlings, trees, we might not live long enough to benefit from the shade of these trees. But does it really matter? Generations yet to come would enjoy the shades of the trees that we plant today. We must be that tree planting generation. After all, we are also enjoying shades from trees that were not planted by us, but by generations that did not live long enough to benefit from these shades. Remember, we are speaking proverbially. This is the black pot. Remember the law of harvest. You reap what you sow, and you must water what you sow. You must till the land. You must give it the best atmosphere for it to grow well, so you can reap a bountiful harvest. Think about that. There is the Black Pot, aka Kukusho TV, Africa's only Pan-African TV. We are also live on Loud Silence TV, live on our own TV, the Black Empire TV. And we are also on YouTube. Our name is Black Empire Media. And Black is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also click on the notification. Introduce other people to this channel. This is where we speak truth to power. Yes, we speak truth to power. This is where we seek to rewire the mindset of our people. If the average African mindset is right, every other thing will be right. Yes, our leaders only think about roads. Oh yes, schools, and of course, hospitals. They are not thinking about upstairs, the mentality of the people. You can have all the schools, all the roads, all the hospitals. If the mindset is wrong, you need mental emancipation, or else you will continue to be in slavery. We will destroy all the schools and destroy all the roads and wait for another set of roads to be built every time. We will be in that routine poverty. Think about that. Cyclical poverty. My name is RASTA. I remember we are ably supported by ISIT. Now, ISIT simply means in spirit, in truth. Now, if you're tired of social media that is so negative, social media that is not doing anything to bring you up, doing nothing to uplift you, oh yes, doing nothing absolutely to put you into some arena of positivity, then you must be thinking about logging on to ISIT in spirit, in truth. Over here is all positive. You meet positive-minded people and no negativity. There is always that eye that is looking around to make sure no negativity comes up. Oh my God. This is the app you've been waiting for. The interesting thing is that it's a Ghanaian app, an African app monitored in the US by Africans. It's available on App Store, also available on Google Play. And I am a proud ambassador of ISIT. We want to take our children off that kind of social media that is so negative. Now on ISIT, you can do video calls, ordinary calls, and of course, messaging. So many different things that you can do on other social media platforms. You can do here and even more. Remember, you can download this from App Store and also Google Play. Thanks so much, ISIT. Yes, ISIT in spirit, in truth. Well, my name is Blakk Rasta, and this is the Black Pot. Today we have a number of issues to look at, and I'm going straight into these issues. Issue number one, let's look at it. It's mind-blowing. It says what? Incompetent Nana Addo offering Ghana for recolonization. And this is PIANIM. How many of us know PIANIM? Look at him. Renowned economist. In fact, he's a member of the NPP. One of the founding members of the NPP. This man at a point even tried to stand for presidency. In fact, he wanted to be the presidential candidate of his party, the NPP. After some time, we never really heard about him. But one time, very powerful economic mind. One time, very astute politician. All of a sudden, he went into oblivion. I think he's been forced out of hibernation because of the incompetence that is going on within his party. This is PIANIM. He's been talking for some time now. When was the last time we heard about PIANIM? It was only last year he started to talk again after several years of hibernation. And our people say that when you see a frog hopping out of his hiding place in the daytime, then you must know that there is something that is chasing it, probably a venomous viper. PIANIM is talking. And when you listen to him, you realize that he's talking out of genuine pain for his nation. Many people would have thought that, oh, this is my party in power. If anything at all, let's not wash our so-called dirty linen in public. But he thinks that the Ghana agenda must be first and foremost. Let's watch what he says. Watch this. We are being recolonized all over again because of incompetence. We look at our headline. It says, Incompetent Nana Addo offering Ghana for recolonization. Have we represented the headline good? We are being recolonized all over again because of incompetence. Who is in power? Nana Akufo-Addo, the MPP. Come here, let's talk about this. Economist KWAME in PIANIM is troubled by the trends of government activities in the wake of an economic crisis, giving power to foreign experts to control and dictate to government what to do, and the resort to incessant borrowing from the International Monetary Fund (IMF) is an indication of the incompetence of the current administration, according to KWAME PIANIM. He says the country is being recolonized as a result. We have a finance minister who borrowed and parliament that supported him to borrow. We have now somebody from the US Treasury sitting in the Ministry of Finance to hold Ken Ofori-Atta's hand. Ken told me once, we went to school with these same white boys. We are just as good as them. Now he has somebody sitting there, holding his hand, giving him tutorials in what? And we have somebody being paid by a Swiss fund sitting in the Bank of Ghana. Our governor was out giving advice to other countries, and we are being recolonized, he said. Speaking on Joy News' news file on Saturday, April 8, The Economist expressed disappointment at leaders of the country in what he expected, in that he expected a better performance as the country boasts 66 years of being independent. According to him, government projects have usually cost double the price indicated because of their incompetence and corruption. As a result, the expert does not want any country to forgive Ghana of its debt, but rather structure it in a way that compels it to pay. This, he said, would deter government from engaging in reckless borrowing. He has recommended that government should focus on creating homegrown solutions to solve current economic issues rather than finding itself at the feet of the IMF during an economic crisis each time. Speaking on the recent 3 tax bills approved by Parliament, Mr. PIANIM expressed indifference to the purpose for which they were approved. According to him, the tax bills have nothing to do with growth and fiscal sustainability. The levy has nothing to do with growth. It has nothing to do with fiscal sustainability. It's a lie, he said. The expert has therefore advised the government to be transparent with the people of Ghana. Come here. This is KWAME PIANIM speaking. Are you not awed by this level of loyalty to the nation, patriotism? This is what KWAME in PIANIM is saying. He's saying that the taxes that are coming in, approved by the parliament, they are nothing but a lie. They have nothing to do with fiscal improvement. Now, what the man is trying to say is that you tax people when they are earning more. But when people are not earning, they are poor, and you slap them with more taxes, you are not being sensitive to the plight of the people. KWAME PIANIM said something that I've said here before. Remember when this issue of bringing somebody from the IMF and the World Bank to come and sit in the finance ministry to hold the hand of Ken Ofori-Atta and guide him around like a visually impaired economist? We were the first to come here and make it known to you that we are on our way to recolonization. True? Do you remember? Remember how we titled it? And you can always go back into our archives and check that on YouTube. What did we say? New finance minister for Ghana from the US. And today, my brother, my sister, we are proving to the whole world that we are so weak. We are manipulatable. That we are a kind of people who have no common sense. That's what it is. After 66 years of independence. After proving to the whole world that we are the leaders in cocoa production. Albeit recently, we lost that position to the Ivory Coast. And that we are the country that has gold as its middle name, the Gold Coast. That we named ourselves Ghana after a great empire that did not have a single poor person in there. That we named ourselves Ghana from the Arabic word Ghaniyun, which means what? Wealth. And that we named ourselves after Ghana, that great empire that took its name from the Soninke or the Malinke, the Jula, which means what? The blacksmith. You know what the blacksmith does? Do you know what the blacksmith does? The blacksmith would fabricate anything from out of everything. We were the first to teach them how to smelt metal. We were a great nation, in fact, a great empire that people from Spain and so many other places came to learn from. At the helm of the Ghana Empire in the days of Dinga Sisi, when the Ghana Empire was founded in 750 Common Era, all the way down until when Tinkaminen took over, not a single person in that empire was poor. How did they do it? Common sense. Common sense. Where was the Ghana Empire? Within Mauritania and the central part of Mali. That's where the Ghana Empire was. The capital was called what? Kumbisali. And later, we had another commercial capital called the Odagast. Are we speaking history? Yes. From history, we learn. History is the study of past events. Experience is the best teacher. How did we fall so flat to the point that people who used to come to us for advice, now we are those who are at their feet begging them to advise us? How did we degrade ourselves this low? Finance minister that we are paying to lead this country economically is now at the mercy of the World Bank. The only way they can rule this nation is to run to the IMF. Any fool can rule this nation then. We only need a group of idiots. Anytime they are in crisis, they call white people to come and solve those problems. Am I making sense? Or do you think that I'm being harsh? I have a few people who tell me, Blakk Rasta, you were harsh here, you were harsh there. Well, listen. But listen. If governance is all about borrowing, and when you are not able to pay, you run back and beg, cap in hand, that they should forgive you your loans, then it's fools who are in power. Fools, absolute fools. I don't care what you think, be it harsh or whatever. But my brother, listen. Do you feel the pang of this foolishness that's happening in our country and some other parts of Africa? It looks like governance in Africa is all about bringing your families and friends and putting them in governance. And all you do is to go about borrowing recklessly. And when you are not able to pay, you go back and then give excuses why they have to forgive you your debts. Instead of fools and irresponsible people who do that. Who wants to lend money to a fool? Who wants to lend money to an irresponsible person? Our government is absolutely irresponsible. That's what it is, brethren. That's what it is. If we can't speak truth to power, then we don't need this platform. If governance is all about running around and borrowing, and when you cannot pay because you are being so reckless and idiotic, what happens? You go around again asking them to forgive you your debts. You call the IMF in. IMF says, okay, before we can come and help you, do ABCD, so degrading. How many of us read Macbeth? I keep saying this every time. When Macbeth forced his way onto the throne and kicked out King Duncan, what happened to Macbeth? When finally the triumvirate came in to take over, what did they tell him? They were here to uproot him. What did Macbeth say? He said, oh, he was not ready to fight. In other words, he had given up. And then the people attacking him now or revenging, what did they say? They told Macbeth, well, if you don't want to fight, we don't want to kill you either. What we will do is we'll put you in a cage and we'll write on top of the cage, here comes the traitor. You know who a traitor is? A betrayer. Who will take you around the market square so everybody would see you, and looking at himself in that forced glory, and now in a cage like a common accursed bird being taken around. Macbeth refused it, as if some new invigorated energy came into him and possessed him, and he pulled his sword out of his scabbard and was ready to fight again. He was slain. Why am I bringing the Macbeth story? We are a people who have no shame. We don't care what IMF or the World Bank says to us. They can put us in every dirty cage, label us. After all, they labeled us before. HIPIC. Highly impoverished, poor countries. And we didn't care. We accepted that label all because they could feed us. Even Macbeth refused it. Meanwhile, these are the bourgeoisies. They went to school in England. They only went there to parrot without using their brain. Today, they are those ruling us. They have no common sense of decency and patriotism. That is where we are. And that's what KWAME PIANIM say. He says, no nation in the world should forgive Ghana is dead. And I stand by that. I've said that time and again. And people thought I was being harsh. And people thought I was so harsh. And that I hated this government in power. Oh, yes, I hate idiots in power. That's it. And it's not only my country's idiots. It's other idiots in other African countries who are making us speak the way we are speaking because they don't care. They don't. What kind of a nation is this? 66 years of independence, and we are still running to the IMF and the World Bank, running to China and all those other places, asking them to give us crumbs from off the table. And when I get angry and I speak, somebody becomes angry. Oh, if you speak like this, you will not get... No, who cares about that? Keep it. Keep it. I prefer to lose everything and have my nation grow like Nkrumah did. What did Nkrumah have at the time that he was kicked out? Today we are all hailing Nkrumah. Yes, somebody would have said, oh, but he's dead. He's dead, but not gone. His philosophies are still here with us. Nkrumah called the NLC fools. The NLC, he called them fools. That was a president. He chose his language well. Today when I use fools on some people, Nkrumah would not have a problem. This is the black pot, and I want to say, KWAME PIANIM, bring back his photograph. Many people are going to be telling you, KWAME PIANIM, that you are a bitter soul. That maybe because they did not consider you for any appointment or whatever, they would always find a reason to vilify you. We see you as a hero. I've never really liked him in the past because it's associated with a party whose tradition I don't believe in. You understand? I've never believed in the tradition of this party. But we believed in individuals in the party, like Nana Akufo-Addo. We all believed him. If I lie to you, God will punish me. Whether you believe in God or not, God will punish me. Or better still, the universe will punish me. Nature will punish me. Posterity will punish me. We were those running around him, Nana Akufo-Addo, because we believed that he was such a loyal soul who was going to do so much. But his true colors, the colors of his grandfathers and fathers, so Oforiatta the first, his own father, Edward Akufo-Addo, and the rest of them who came together, lumped up against Kwame Nkrumah and were bombing him all over. Today, Nkrumah is the hero, and his fathers and grandfathers are the villains. Yet they are forcing their statues on us to worship them as heroes. We are not stupid. I'm waiting for that leader who will come and crash all those statues. Edward Akufo-Addo's statue crashed. J.B. Dankwa crashed. And all those other villains that they are forcing on us and calling heroes. This is the Black Pot, a.k.a. Kokoshonamo, where we speak truth to power. Forgive me if I'm over incensed. Is that burning desire to see a nation develop. 66 years of independence. Yet all we have to show for the 66 years, excessive borrowing, leaders with no common sense, coming in and going out, and the children become the sacrifice. Immigration, people running out of this country, more than even in the days of slavery. What have you achieved then? Dash it away and bring me the next thing. Next thing we would like to look at, and I will need you to open your ears. Ashanti police officer fire shots over rat meat, aka KUSIE. Kusinam. In Ghana, we eat rats. In fact, in Ghana, we even eat grasshoppers. We eat termites and lizards. In Ghana, if you thought that was so much, we eat dogs and cats. If you thought that was too much, we even eat the excreta of grass cutters or bandicoots. You've eaten the animal's flesh. You are not satisfied. The excreta, you take that out and make it into nkwan, and you eat fufu with it. How can you go to heaven? How can you go to heaven eating animal feces? How can you be well? How can you be healthy eating animal excreta? My brother, you see this animal that police and civilians are fighting over is not even up to the size of the leg of a fully grown cock. Yet they are fighting over it. Because according to them, it tastes like heaven. Look at them. That's a senior police officer lying down there, his neck squeezed by the man in white. Another guy comes over, and you can see that little rat in the hands of the police officer. No, he must eat it for dinner today. The guy who caught the rat said, no, police, every time you take it away from us, this time around, no, we won't allow you. I need you to watch the video whilst I give you commentary. You will see the extent at which they fought to get this. Watch this. You see the policeman is lying down with his AK-47. Have you seen it? Another policeman has come there. Watch it. Watch. You see? That's the rat they are holding. That black thing there. That's the rat. Now, okay, he's going to take the AK-47 from the police officer. Watch, you see, he's taking the AK-47 from the police officer because he says this is dangerous. It could just fire. Police officer is still down there, and this is Ghana police. They are struggling over the rat, you know. And then the guy wearing the white, he says he must eat his rat. He struggled to catch it. KUSIE. Policeman says, no, kusinam demi pepa. I will not let you go. Watch this. This is sad. Police officer. You saw other police officers there, gun-wielding police, fighting over rat meat. We should go into the Guinness Book of Records. If police in Ghana can fight civilians over rat meat, is it gold that they won't fight over? So when you take these kind of people to the gold side, Galamsey side, illegal mining, and ask them to kick these people away, you are joking. Somebody who can take rat meat and sell out his profession like this, you put him at a gold mine, you are joking. It's like some of the judges and lawyers we have in Ghana that will take goat meat and free hardened criminals. And Anas Armiyao Anas, who exposed them, unfortunately had to run to some of those judges for justice. You are joking. You are joking. A judge who takes goat meat to deliver injustice, then if he gets a cow, he will deliver super to the umpteenth time injustice. Somebody needs to hear this again. Why are you making this country so ridiculous? Now, when the British police see this, you know what they will say? They will say that, no, this is not true. No, this is not true. It's not possible. First and foremost, they'll be shocked that we eat rats in this country. Number two, they will never believe it, even if God himself comes down to tell them that we eat animal excreta. I don't want to use the other one. That sounds like shh, no. excreta. They scoop it out and make it into soup. And they eat it. That is traditional. It makes them wiser, sharper, and healthier. What a joke of a people. In such a country, if you are a vegetarian, you die hungry. You comb the whole Ghana looking for vegetarian food. The best you can find is yoi. Yoi. Salad. Our salad is watered by waters that are so polluted. So if you are a serious vegetarian, you will have to consider doing your own backyard garden. This is a country that has no respect for vegetarians, let alone vegans. So if you survive in this country as a vegan or a vegetarian, then you can even live in hell. People who eat animal excreta. We eat almost anything. Snails and crabs and all, we eat everything. To God be the glory. As for the police officers, sometimes when I feel like supporting the police, some of these police officers bring my spirit down. I come from a family of police. I respect the police no matter what the police does. My grandfather, Inspector Addo Kankani, Gold Coast Police, who was transferred all the way through the Volta region, Hohoi, all the way down to Sogakope, and all those wonderful areas, serving this wonderful nation. He didn't die a rich man, but on his deathbed, he was so happy that he had served his people. That's the kind of Gold Coast Police we're talking about, where bribery was so alien to their culture. Today, bribery is the middle name of the police. And bribery, not even any decent bribery. 2 cedis, 5 cedis, and all that. Why? Now you are fighting over KUSIE. Then if it's a crantier there, you fire shots. Let's look at the story. Police officer caught in a brawl over rat carcass. I like the way they put it there. Rat carcass. Not rat meat. Rat carcass. Rat carcass eaters. Carcass eaters. It means you are what? You are going about eating rodents, bandicoots. That's what you are. Carcass. Any animal that feeds on carcass is what? How many of you know that? When you feed on carcass, you are like the vulture. You are what? You are what? As you say, so you say I'm harsh. A police officer on highway patrol duties has been caught in a brawl, fisticuffs, with some civilians allegedly over rat carcass. It is unlike the policeman known popularly as Abajise, and Abajise means beard, attempted to take the carcass from the band of young men who were returning from hunting activities in Kumewu, in the Ashanti region. But the young men resisted, resulting in the confrontation. I think I told you this story, right? An eyewitness, Nana Sapon, who narrated the incident to Love News, explained that when the young men refused to hand over the dead animal to the officer, he fired a warning shot. The bullet he fired is 10 times more expensive than the rat, but he fired. Pwah! After firing warning shots, he fired again and fired again. The officer used the butt of the gun to hit one of the men, he claimed. A video obtained by Love News shows one of the men holding the officer by the neck as others tag along. 2 other officers, police officers, were heard telling the men to stop the struggle. They intervened by taking the rifle from their colleague officer, but the officer continued to be held by his uniform as his colleagues walked away. Maybe he took the rat and pocketed it. Was going home to go and enjoy dinner. A country of rat eaters. You have eaten the big cow. You are not satisfied. You want a rat. Oh, Jesus. Dash it away. This is shameful. Ghana police, please. You know, when it comes to police issues, I am so soft. Raise your level. You are supposed to be the most respected. You are supposed to be the friend to the people. Are you negating your own mantras? The police is your friend. How can my friend be stealing my rat? Are you in a rat race? Is it a rat race? Then if it's a rat race, it doesn't matter who wins the race. He's still a rat. Do you get it? Bob Marley sang that song. Rat race. Oh yes, it's a rat race. If you are involved in a rat race, it doesn't matter who wins the race. That person is still a rat. I'll prove that to you. When we return, we got more. But remember, police must rebrand. IGP, I've said this over and over. Rebrand Ghana Police. It might not take 1 month to finish it. It might not take 2 months, not even 1 year. But let the people have a positive mind about the police. How can you do it? Now you have police TV. Use it. Get 1 or 2 people with good name as police ambassadors. Yes, if you want ideas, I can volunteer a lot of ideas. I love the police. I love the police. Anyway, we don't want police in a rat race. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot. Coco show, man.
This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodum, where we speak truth to power. I told you, the thing about the rat race is, no matter who wins the race, you are still a rat in a race. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodum. Now, if you're tired of social media's negativity, if you don't want your children to even get near it, you are scared that they might be messed up by social media. Now, the good news is that is here. In spirit, in truth. That's what is it means. Made by Ghanaians, built by Africans, stationed in America, and it's all over Africa right now. All you need to do is to download the app at App Store and also at Google Play. Download that. What does it do? You can do video calls, messaging, and even ordinary calls. Hey, you will stay on and meet other positive-minded people. And whatever is out there is checked. Algorithms, for the very first time, powerful algorithms are used to track down negativity. Powerful algorithms. We won't tell you how it's done, but it's algorithms. The moment you're about to get negative, you will think that you are sending a message, nobody is seeing it. That's negative. And if you continue in that sense, you are taking off. You will be communicating with yourself alone. It's very, very powerful. It's called Is It? In spirit, in truth. Make connections feature. Promote your business for free. It's all for free. Nobody charges you anything. Just do it for free. Fraternize and enjoy yourself. Text messaging, video calls, everything is possible. This is the Blackport, aka Kukushodamo, where we speak truth to power. Next story. Now the next story is appearing. It says Mikel Obi. Mikel Obi pays ransom for father's kidnapping. So take off the apostrophe and the S. So Mikel Obi pays ransom for father's kidnapping. Oh my God. How many people don't know Mikel Obi? He's a Nigerian footballer. Very handsome footballer. Very positive footballer. We are talking about Mikel Obi. That's him. Very good footballer. Very, very powerful footballer. Now let me tell you his story. Run the story. And this is from the Vanguard of Nigeria. It's a newspaper in Nigeria. He said, I paid crazy money as ransom to rescue my dad from abductors. And this is Mikel Obi talking. The story is written by Efosa Taiwo. Taiwo is a very beautiful name in Nigeria. Taiwo, I love it. Former Super Eagles captain John Obi Mikel has revealed how he had to pay some crazy amount of money to get his dad released by kidnappers. Come here. In Nigeria, they say kidnappers. The rest of the world will say kidnappers. Recall that in 2018, 4 hours before the Super Eagles game against Argentina in Russia, Mikel received news that his dad, Pa Mikel Obi, had been kidnapped along with his driver, Ishaya John, on the Markurdi Enugu road 4 hours before a crucial match. He was told that, hey, your father has been kidnapped. I don't know who allows phones with footballers around these times. 4 hours before that crucial game, somebody still called him and said, hey, your father has been kidnapped. The football star, despite knowing this, shrugged it off and went on to lead the Super Eagles in what was widely applauded as a high level of patriotism. In an interview with Dubai Eye, 103.8 Sport, Mikel narrated how he was able to prosecute the game in spite of the harrowing thoughts of his father's safety. Mikel said that he received the disturbing news whilst traveling on the team bus to the stadium in St. Petersburg. The former Chelsea midfielder said a family member had called and told him that he had to call the kidnappers on a designated number, which he did and was ordered to pay a ransom. He revealed that although he was distraught by the news, he had to put it aside and go ahead with the match. I was emotionally distraught and I had to make the decision about whether I was mentally ready to play or not. I was confused. I did not know what to do, but in the end, I knew that I could not let 180 million Nigerians down. In fact, that's even a small number. Its population is about 250 million right now, Nigeria. I had to shut it out of my mind and go and represent my country first. I could not even inform the coaches or NFF staff, and only a very tight circle of my friends knew. What a man. This is patriotism. Your father has been kidnapped. You are going to represent your nation. Would you break down and cry and be weak and say you cannot play? He said, no. He shrugged it off and went ahead because he couldn't let at least 180 million Nigerians down. And he was the captain. I was told that they would shoot my dad instantly if I reported to the authorities or told anybody. I also did not want to discuss it with the coach, Gernot Rohr, because I did not want my issue to become a distraction to him or the rest of the team on the day of such an important game. As much as I wanted to discuss it with the coach, I could not. What a man. Hey, come here. Mm. Thinking about the bigger picture rather than the small one. Him and his family. The kidnappers said, listen, we know it is Mikel who will pay. If he doesn't, we are going to shoot his dad. They said they had nothing to lose. They will shoot my dad and dump him somewhere. Mikel Obi said. It was horrible. After the game, I got back on the phone, tried to negotiate with them and spoke with them. They were calling some ridiculous amount of money for a start. And in the end, I still had to pay some crazy amount of money to get my dad out. Even now, I still go through it. Even when I got a flashback, I had to speak to my guys on the phone. There was a gun point at his head. They said they will shoot him, kill him. I have not told my kids about it, but a few months ago, they looked at my phone and saw the news about it. Obviously, I have not told them about it because they are young kids, 7 years. But one day, when they grow up, I will be able to share the story with them, he said. This is Mikel Obi. Look at his face. Tells you that I am sad. Something is worrying me, but I cannot let my nation down. Do we have this crop of players? Do we have them now? African players are all plying their trade outside, and they are thinking most of the time about their career rather than the nation. True? True? And a lot of them will say, oh, they don't even treat us well. The nation doesn't treat us well. So we don't also care about them. No, it's wrong. Do your part. Treat the nation well. Think about the nation. Let any other person not treat you fine. They are not the nation. They are just a few people who are misbehaving in the nation. In fact, I doff my heart for Mikel Obi. Look at the level of patriotism. Look at the level of dexterity and robustness. The guy was able to withstand this. I don't even want to look at the kidnappers. As for them, they are losers. They are cowards. So the only way you can make money is to go and kidnap old men and women whose children have made it in life by a dint of hard work. You are cowards. The nation is terrible. The politicians are those who are causing this. Mikel Obi hasn't done anything. He's not privileged. He's been hardworking. If you want anybody to rob at all, rob the people who are making your countries bad and bad and bad and bad, and they are not ready to listen to anybody. Not hardworking people who are in the same soup with you. This same Mikel Obi has a lot of charities in Nigeria donating money. You see, these are some of the things that happen, and you see some people have their money and they still pretend that they are poor. Because the moment they come out to do a little bit of charity, they become of wicked people. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but Mikel Obi, O'Shea, I love you. When we return, we got more. Hey! Wayo!
Blackpot. Show man.
The day the dollar dies, the world will be free. The words of Peter Tosh. He was born in 1944 and he said bye-bye to us in 1987. through the actions of gunmen. Lepo came into his house, shot and killed him. Peter had a lot of dogs in his house, but the dogs knew Lepo because Lepo was a frequent visitor of the house. Lepo, Loban, Lepo came into the house, shot and killed Peter Tosh. We'll find time and tell you the whole story. But he sang, the day the dollar dies, the world will be free. Could he have been correct? Is the dollar that weaponized? Is the dollar that evil? What really is it? Come here, follow me. Next story. Watch it. What does it say? Watch it. It says what? War on the dollar as America Globetrots. America is running around Africa, doing PR, public relations. America says, oh, we are here to talk about business and how we can do business with you. And in fact, throwing out some crumbs to wicked leaders who have mismanaged their economies so that they can get them into that puddle. America is in trouble. America is in trouble. Why is America in trouble? Now, there is something known as BRICS. Remember last week we talked about BRICS? This is BRICS. B for Brazil, R for Russia, I for India, C for China, and S for South Africa. They are developing a new currency. And the new currency they are developing, they have already stopped using the American dollar for any of their businesses. Now they are using the Chinese yuan. And Russia, a superpower. Look at the Russian president there. Second from left. They have come together to break down the American dollar, which they believe has been so weaponized and has been used against so many different nations to cripple them and call the shots for far too long. But interestingly, other countries are joining. Now, China and Brazil have reached a deal to trade in their own currencies, ditching the US dollar. What? And you can see the US dollar on fire. And this is the China and the Brazil deal that is setting the US dollar on fire. That is what is happening. Watch this. Just last week, the Kenyans were told that if they keep holding the dollar, they will regret because the value of the dollar is going to drop drastically in Kenya because Kenyans are going to kick away the dollar and use something else. President of Kenya tells citizens to get rid of US dollars. We played you that tape, remember? This is the president, that's what he said. Why the war against the American dollar? Because the American dollar has been weaponized. Anytime America starts to sneeze, everybody catches cold. Sanctions all over the place. Economic hitmen moving into areas and taking over the wealth of other nations and all that, actually stealing from the nations. How did the American dollar even get big to this point? It was through Saudi Arabia and the oil-rich Arab nations. We've told you this history before. Now Saudi Arabia has pulled out of that. Watch this. Saudi Arabia, Russia, UAE, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, Algeria to cut oil production output until the end of 2023. Hey, these are the oil-rich nations. America used the oil-rich nations to be able to hype the dollar and get the dollar where it is. America went ahead to weaponize the dollar. Now it looks like the dollar is actually going to die. How many years since Peter Tosh died? From 1987. Saudi Arabia's crown prince says he's no longer interested in pleasing the United States. This crown prince is also a very bad guy. We remember the murder around him. We remember. Remember the journalist we told you about? And he had his hands deep inside it. You remember Trump coming all the way to meet with this guy, and all of a sudden that issue died out. It's all about cash and business. Trump made it clear. It is their own man, and if they have decided to kill him, let business go on. But that man was a man who was running away from the Saudis, and he naturalized elsewhere, America. But they gave him out. Saudi Arabia cuts ties with the United States for economic independence. I don't know how America is going to deal with this. And if you look at this photo, this is the crown prince, and on the far left there is who? Joe Biden. What is America going to do next? America would by all means put up a fight. Is America going to go around this thing? Will America succeed? Can America succeed against all these powerful nations? Now, Russia claims that America is responsible for the Ukrainian war. How true is this? Malaysian Prime Minister says there is no reason to continue to depend on the US dollar. Oh my God. Why is it that all of a sudden everybody's running away from the dollar? Is the dollar about to die? And if the dollar dies, will the world be better? Well, Peter Tosh predicted that long ago. The day the dollar dies, the world will be free. Japan breaks from United States and allies, commits to buying Russian oil above price cap. Japan, China, Oman, Brazil, South Africa, all these countries, including Kenya, Uganda is even joining. Ghana has long stopped using American dollar, using gold rather to buy oil. China's yuan has replaced the US dollar as the most traded currency in Russia for the first time. Remember we told you about this? So they have all ganged up against America. Did America bite more than it could chew? What is America going to do? Now we are going to test the power of America in terms of its PR and in terms of its economic might. Chinese yuan surpasses the euro to become Brazil's second largest reserve currency. China to invest 39 billion in Malaysia. Hallelujah. Now Ghana is in China begging for debts to be cancelled. It's very simple. What China would say is that right now, make the Chinese yuan the official currency for your trade. What is Ghana going to say? Oh yes, we'll do it. We'll do it, sir. The day the dollar dies, Peter Hubert McIntosh. Is his prediction coming to pass? Better still, is his prophecy coming to pass? Dash it away. Last thing and we are done. This will take only 1 minute. 2024 elections promise nothing but bloodshed. There's a guy called Brian Achampong. He has the biggest hotel in the whole of Africa. And it's located in his hometown right there in Kwewu. He made an utterance so terrible. And the whole media has gone berserk. NPP will never hand over power to the NDC in the 2024 elections. Brian Achampong vows. But what are his real words? Run the story. What did he really say? Go to the third paragraph. He says, the fourth paragraph says, addressing party faithfuls after a health walk through the principal streets of Mpraiso on Saturday, April 8, 2020. Brian Achampong stressed that we will show the NDC that we have the men if they want to intimidate, harass us, or do anything foolish during the 2024 elections. It will not happen that we will hand over power to the NDC. We will use enemies for NPP to stay in power. Dash it away. You see the shameful talk. These are guys with no common sense. They love power more than they love human life. In the last elections, 6 people were gunned down. for Addo to come into power. And this is what this guy is saying. And I hear some idiots saying that, oh, but Mahama said worse than this. He said that the NDC is the preserve of violence. Was that wisdom? Who said what Mahama said made sense? We condemn that outright. Mahama said it. So idiots have to also follow Mahama and say the same idiotic thing. What nonsense is this? Mahama said it, so you too are saying it. Are you that daft? I wish you would bring your children. The men that you claim you have who can fight back, bring your children and your family. Let's see your family and children die. Then we know that you are ready for that revolution. Some other people have spoken against this. Watch this. We are ready to meet you. Joseph Yamin replies, Brian Champion, foolish talk. Me too. These are the warmongers. Yamin is one guy like that. Remember, he was the one who said, oh, they would bring only NDC people, they fly them. NPP came and flew its members to blah, blah. So it was no longer a national agenda. It was a party agenda. These nincompoops should not be encouraged to come and cause mayhem in our country. And when I speak, I choose my words carefully. An elder statesman has also spoken. And what is he saying? This is not only irresponsible, but senseless statement. Senseless. Nincompoopish. Did you hear that? Nincompoopish. Nyaho tamoklu to Brian Champo. Dash that away. NDC has also said something. This is Nyaho tamaklu. That's what he said. That is senseless. And he wrote a whole press release. Now the NDC has also released a statement. What did the NDC say? NDC is calling for the arrest of Brian Champo. Party members are going to say, oh, they should arrest Mahama too. Mahama too said this and said this and said that. What are the laws saying? National Democratic Congress condemns treasonable statement by Brian Champo, demands his immediate arrest. Well, at the time Mahama said that, did they arrest him? If not, this is an opportunity to arrest the two of them and show them that the laws in this country work. That's all I can say. Dash this away. But what am I saying about this? I'm going to write a letter to the American embassy. And I'm going to write one to the South African embassy, the British embassy, and copy it to other embassies. And give the names of these people. Brian Champo, Yamin, to them, and tell them that they are flight risks. You want to set the country ablaze so that you can run and go there where common sense people have not made such statements and they are keeping their country cool. I will write to them. They will never be able to leave this country until after we have had a peaceful election and everything is okay. They would stay in this country. These are the people, when they hear smoke, they are in the next flight, gone. We are ready for them. Hey, they have submarines that will take them to China. We are not idiots. We're watching you. I'm writing those letters. And I'll mention Brian, who, and Yamin, who. These are their statements. Keep them in the country. Don't give them any visa to fly anywhere. Until after elections are over and everything is peaceful. Then they can go if you wish. I leave it here. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Koko Shownomo, where we speak truth to power. I love you. I appreciate you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Blakk Empire Media. Blakk is spelled B-L-A-K-K. Yes, and make sure that you click on the notification button and let's do some wonderful time together. Yeah? This is the Blakk Pot. And my name, Blakk Rasta. See you. Hey!